Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the Infinite Baffle channel. My name is Niall and today, rather selfishly, it has to be said, we're bringing you a video looking at the JBL L52 Classic speakers. And the reason this is a bit of a selfish one is because the L52s have been on the market for some time. They're really popular, but I've never actually had the chance to listen to them, and it was a speaker I've been keen to sit down and try it for myself for some time. So really glad I've had the chance to do that for this video. As always, if you do enjoy this, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on the L52 Classics down below and subscribe for weekly hi-fi content. But yeah, without any further ado, L52s, let's go. As I say, the design and the aesthetics are the first thing that have always really jumped out to me about this whole JBL range. It's kind of a retro meets industrial kind of vibe, I guess it gives me. You've got this very unique looking speaker that looks super industrial, and then on top of that, a super bright grille if you were to go for an orange or blue. And you think to yourself, that shouldn't really work, and yet somehow they look absolutely brilliant. It's very rare for me that I actually leave a grille on a speaker, but I think if I were to own a pair of these, I actually would. You know, normally I'm all about showing off the drivers. I think that's how speakers look best, but the way the orange and the blue in particular pop with the L52s here, they look absolutely spectacular. It's actually a little bit unusual when you think about it, because typically when you're buying a new speaker or looking at options for a speaker, you know, you've got several finish choices. You might have like a wood, a black, a white, whatever it might be. But the way that JBL do it is that this overall finish stays exactly the same, and where the options come in are with the grille. You can have something like the orange and the blue, which again I think look absolutely wonderful, or if you did want to keep it a bit more neutral, you can still go for a black, which kind of gives you that more grounded, easy to fit in look, I suppose you would say. I've got to say as well, I don't know what it is about the colour orange. You know, you think of orange and hi-fi, there are so many examples of it, whether it's the JBLs with the orange grills, whether it's the Quad 30333 with its orange vibe. What is it with orange and hi-fi that just works? When it comes to the overall specifications of the L52 Classics, at least where we are at Audiophile here, these are retailing for just shy of £600. As I just touched upon, they've got a very unique front of the speaker aesthetic. You've got the 20mm titanium dome tweeter, the 5¼ bass driver, and the front port here to help with bass management. But perhaps the most unique thing about this is the volume dial, the adjustment level that you have on each individual channel, which in theory means that balancing your system and perhaps room placement as well should be a lot easier with the L52 Classics. It's also worth noting just how compact the L52s are, because they are a very small bookshelf. They come in at 13 inches high, 7 inches wide and 8 inches deep. And if you did want to keep in with the aesthetics that they have going on, JBL also produced their own stands that go especially with these here and kind of match that industrial retro vibe that they've got going on. Focusing a bit more on the specification side of things, these come with a frequency response range of 47 Hz to 24 kHz. They have a sensitivity rating of 85 dB, and JBL recommend an amp powered between 10 and 75 watts, which should mean that in theory these are very, very drivable. We will of course put a link to the speakers in the description down below, where you'll be able to find all of the specifications in full to peruse at your leisure. Before we do start talking about the sound and the performance of the L52s here, I do want to mention there will be a sound test at the end of the video, so if you do want to hear these for yourselves exactly what they can do, make sure to stick around to the very end. We did listen to these, partnered up with the Name Unity Atom, a firm favourite of ours here. It allowed us to give them plenty of drive and also gave us great flexibility in terms of listening options as well, though most of the listening we did was via Tidal. The first thing that did jump out to me though when we did start listening to the L52 Classics was just how prevalent the low end was and just how punchy it was. When I say that, I don't mean it's over-encompassing. It didn't dominate the soundstage, but it did a really good job of supporting everything else. And we've mentioned it in other videos recently, but just it is so impressive just from such a small cabinet now, what manufacturers are able to do. They are so much more punchy than I expected them to be. I will say this doesn't mean they're going to fill a large room though. I do think these are a speaker that certainly suits a smaller to medium sized room, and particularly in a smaller environment, I think they'd really, really shine. I actually think they give a really full-bodied, well-rounded, balanced presentation, and whether we were listening to modern music like Joe's Back on You or the new tracks from Skepta and Fred again, they've both got very different kind of sounds, you know, the kind of choir vocal introduction on the Joe track or the thumping low end on the Fred against Skepta tracks. It seemed to handle both incredibly well. From there though, we actually went down a bit of a rabbit hole and started listening to Joy Division, New Order, the Smiths, and that was where it felt like these really came to life. And it's a little bit funny because they've got this kind of retro design and it feels like those kind of old school tracks was where these were really at home. That full-bodied sound is actually a very rich one, a very musical one. It's actually a really fun overall sound. It's very musical. They've got great timing to them. But what I will say is they do lack a little bit when it comes to the detailing, and especially compared to some of the other competitors at their price point. So if you're looking for something that's really detailed, analytical, I don't think these would be for you. It's going to put some people off. But the upside to that is that it tends to mean it's a very easy listening speaker, and by that I mean it's not fatiguing at all. You could have these on all day and just fatiguing would not be a problem whatsoever. Although they do sound absolutely brilliant when it comes to the music side of things, that does come with a bit of a downside, and I do think they've been designed with this in mind, because if you're someone out there that's looking for a speaker for an AV setting, maybe even for a kind of gaming system, which, you know, given how small these are, the small footprint of them, you know, people could well consider that, but I just don't think they're really designed and tuned with that in mind. They really do work best when it comes to listening to music. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, there really has never been a better time to be an entry to mid-level hi-fi consumer than right now. It is so competitive. The performance at the price points that you get right now is absolutely incredible, and whilst I don't think the L52 Classics have the same warmth and boom as something like a Wolfdar Evo 5.2, or perhaps the same flexibility that you get with something like a KEF Q3 Meta, I can certainly see why so many people swear by them. They've got a real fun musical nature to them, and the unique retro design is also super appealing. So if you're someone out there that's going to be using your speakers in a purely musical system, listening to old school tunes, using them in a vinyl based system, you could certainly do a lot worse than the L52 Classics right here. But if you have had a chance to listen to them in the past, they have been around for a while now, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. As I mentioned right at the start of the video, if you did enjoy this video, find it useful, make sure to leave a thumbs up on it, and we'll catch you all in next week's video, guys. We'll see you all then.
Don't push back. Don't push